to Xena Warrior Podcast. My name is Vera, and I'm joined, as always, by my two vortical co-hosts.
What?
Katie.
Hi.
And Livy.
Vortical?
Y'all be spinning round, round, baby, round, round.
Oh.
Like a record.
I see how it is.
That?
I don't know.
Was that from the list?
No.
Did you make that word up, Vera? Be honest.
Well, today we're talking about 507 Back in the Bottle. As you recall, previously on Xena Warrior Podcast.
Ooh.
We did not
Back
in
do
the
it
bottle.
because it was too painful
Yes.
to do it with that
my
other
God.
one, Purity.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna suffer right
Technically
now.
a two-parter.
Yeah, it is a two-parter.
Sort of.
Sort
It
of.
doesn't
It
really call
is.
itself one.
But it
It
is.
is.
It is weird, though, because, like, they don't quite connect.
No, they just have the same characters.
Yeah, same
in them.
character.
Yeah. It's weird how, like, at the beginning of Back in the Bottle, they've, like, left Chin and they, like,
Yeah.
double back.
Right.
Oh.
Very
Yeah,
strange.
it's like not your traditional two-parter because
Yeah.
it's like not the same story, but just the same people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder
guess.
if at some point they thought they were going to do it later in the season, or if maybe they just had to account for the fact that, you know, different people wrote different episodes and different directors directed them. That's different from the Debts too, right? They were both directed by Elisa Sohn, I think, and
I think so, yeah.
written by RJ.
Right. Yeah, for sure the same person.
Yeah, and that's why they're
Wrote
so
it.
consistent, whereas this is written by everybody, and
Yeah.
this episode is written by no one again.
Yeah, for sure. The time delay between LA and New Zealand ate up all the changes and cohesion.
Well, this one is... Do your job, Vera.
Yeah, this one is teleplay by Buddy Williers.
Ah,
Our
Buddy.
buddy is back.
Buddy's back.
Yeah, and
He still doesn't exist, but he's back.
He sure gave us a horrible one here. I really liked Them Bones, Them Bones.
I know, Buddy.
Buddy did a great job.
You're 2 for 1?
Yeah, this one, But story by Rob Tappert and Steve Sears, and you're like, what?
Wait, Steve Sears did the story,
Yeah, but Buddy wrote
did
it.
the televoice.
Yeah. Crazy.
Steve Sears came up with the idea, took his hat off, and then wrote
Buddy
it.
came and started typing.
Isn't Buddy just Kurtzman and Orsi coming in and mucking up what was already there?
Yes.
And thus, Steve didn't really write this episode.
Steve, I mean, I think that's exactly what we're seeing here with the Buddy Williers credit. It means that Steve came up with an idea, maybe
And
wrote
with
something at one point that became this script, and
Right.
hence Buddy, to show that Steve is not responsible for what you're seeing on screen.
Yeah, and according to Rob, Kurtzman and Orsi came up with the idea to bring back Ming Tian.
Okay.
So he said they tried to save the script with that.
That was your Hail Mary?
That was
bringing in
their
Ming
Hail Mary.
Tian?
Yep.
Wait,
They were like, oh, what if Ming Tian was here?
That
Surely
fixes
people
it.
will see that this is still the debt.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, maybe in theory. I don't know.
I mean, this is definitely suffering from the too many villains problem. So they created they took Genghis Khan plus Paosu and added a villain just
Yeah.
to like put it over the top.
Master villain, yeah. I don't know. But honestly, the slap in the face for this was directed by Rick Jacobson. Like, come on.
Well, like I said last week, I'm really disappointed in Rick. He's using his powers for evil here. Rick, buddy, this is not a slow-mo situation.
But he made it.
Get that out of here. We don't even want to see it in regular motion.
Oh man, all right. So let's dive in here. So this episode begins with Xena trying to use her new powers to cook a rabbit.
Yeah, I like this part.
She needs like absolute stillness,
Yeah.
and we have Gabs like holding the bunny.
This is funny.
Which seems dangerous. Like, if she sets that buddy on fire and Gabs is holding
She'll
it...
just let go. It's okay.
All right.
She got a reflex.
Well, she definitely doesn't have fire. Like that's not what the problem is here.
No. I don't know what the problem is here. There's a lot of
Problem
problems.
is Gabrielle's hungry.
Yeah, she's very
Xena
hungry.
keeps turning every rabbit into stone.
Yeah, and then Joxer, who comes in and was like unsuccessful with his like foraging for dinner.
Yeah.
And relying on that rabbit is like, oh my God. And he says a really funny line, which is, maybe if you concentrate on making the rabbit into stone, it would cook.
I get why he said that.
But well,
I liked it. I think it's funny.
reverse psychology on the rabbit.
I like this whole opening sequence.
Here's my thing though, like, how dare Xena use Lao Ma's power to make herself dinner?
She's trying to practice.
Clearly,
I think you need to practice.
You think Lalma didn't do that?
No. I'm sure she would say
No.
you don't use the power
It's like
for anything, like, that isn't important.
Disagree. In practical magic, like, they would just do it to, like, light candles and, like,
make the
spin
margarita.
make the margaritas
Yeah,
that's
and,
true.
like, stir their tea and stuff. There's, like, literally no way that, no.
It's a quality of life thing. That's what
You
should
watch
be
like
doing.
all of Harry
Not.
Potter or like read them all.
That's all they do
all they
is
do
make bacon sandwiches
There
with
you
magic.
go. Seriously, isn't that the first thing you would do?
Well, I have to say, Katie, I love that all your rules for how these episodes should be come from practical magic. I feel like practical magic is our guide for understanding season 5.
It's a great movie, directed by Griffin Dunn.
Yeah, that's a funny fact about it.
It's written by someone. Now I don't remember who.
Akiva Goldsman.
Akiva Goldsman, who did
Does stuff with Kurtzman and
Kurtzman.
Orsi.
did really good Fringe.
Yeah.
Oh, he came in
came
to
in
save
late.
Yes.
it for
Yes.
Kurtzman and Orsi.
There
It's
you
all
go.
connected.
Nice. Very nice. Once again, we have the troubling dynamic that Joxer's the only one with money. Like, they
Right,
ask him to
'cause-
get them some takeout.
No, Gabs wants to get takeout from the town because, it keeps fucking up the rabbits. But she doesn't have any dough. So Joxer gets to pull out cash,
It's so weird how he's their sugar daddy. What is this weird thing?
He's a man.
What is this arrangement?
Only men can carry money.
It's super weird because, like, the idea of them having money was, like, never addressed before, and they always had it, so I don't know why all of a sudden they just don't have it. It's like...
So he's like, yeah, I got some right here, and he pulls it out, but it's not money, it's black powder that he had kept in his, like, jacket from the previous episode.
Not smart.
Which, at the end of, they had declared all of the black powder
Right.
had been destroyed.
Exactly.
So-
So, oh my god, Joxer has it. Xena takes it and, like, immediately kind of, like, whirls into a flash forward
Yeah, just
vision.
immediately.
It has, like, the YouTube fan vid filter on it.
Yeah, it's very pink, right?
You can tell. So
It's
you
like
can tell.
glowy.
That
It's like brown. It's like the brown
is this
filter.
the slow-mo that you don't like?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she sees like explosions, like a battlefield. This like,
Doesn't that add to its
Attractive.
dreamy vision quality?
I mean, that's what he was going for.
How? Yeah.
And then they put the filter being like, this is a vision. It'll be sexy and confusing. So we see this like attractive Asian man. We don't know him, but like
you can tell he's important. 'cause
Yeah, you
his
can tell
shirt is
'cause-
like open.
right,
Yeah.
and he's like in the middle of the frame.
Yeah.
And then you see Gabs, and then you see Joxer, and then there's rockets, and they fly at each one
Everybody.
of them.
Joxer gets hella incinerated.
He's the one. His looks okay. Like, and you're like, oh no, that's terrible. Xena looks appropriately shocked.
And when it explodes Gabs, it's like
Okay.
a mannequin.
It's the worst
Yeah.
shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, they didn't even try. They were probably worried to make it look too...
But why even show that? Why not just show like the explosion
I
part of it
know.
and not like the
I
mannequin
know.
standing there?
I mean, again, so many questions for
So
Rick.
many
There were a lot of
this is an
bad
editing question.
choices. Yeah.
Like you can look at that footage and be like, let me just cut this bit
Yeah.
right here.
Is this meant to be funny or scary or sad? What is this? And it's not like we haven't done future flash forward death visions before to
Right.
great flair and emotion.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Well, then we have like the explosions kind of like transition into like this like fiery map, and you move up the wall.
Right, because Xena says at the end of the vision that the Lao Ma's power is trying to tell her something.
Of
Like,
course.
she has to go back to Chin, where this clearly happens to them.
Which is weird because I thought they were still in Chin, and I
Yeah.
thought they just have to go north because that's where the map is leading us to.
Also, this seems like I mean, again, Xena just went through a whole season of being tormented by a vision of the future in which someone's going to die. And here she seems to just be like, let's go back to the place where obviously this is going to happen.
Super insane. That is not, that's just, it's just, yes, the character thing.
It goes
They
right
don't
back.
make sense. All right.
She says the power told her to do it, which is the reason for everything happening in this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate, yeah.
Yeah, I hate.
I
Very
hate.
eloquent.
No, but yeah, like all the power stuff that doesn't make sense. Like even just immediately here, you're like, why is this happening?
Why is it happening?
You know?
It's just all so convenient. Like the power you'll see manifests in all these different forms. Like first she can tell the future, then she's like psychic link with Gabsing.
Practical magical come back.
Yeah, she's trying to cook a rabbit with her mind powers, but actually she turns things to stone. It's just like there's no rules here. Like she can just do everything.
Yeah.
Well, up north,
Yeah.
we meet Genghis Khan,
Genghis
who
Khan.
is...
Is he just called Khan?
Yeah, they refer to him as Khan.
So, and that means Lord or King. Could be anybody.
But alas,
Oh, that I didn't realize that. You're right.
But-
if they never say Genghis Khan, he's
Right.
just a Khan.
No,
Yeah.
but in the trailer,
But
they definitely
it's-
say
Yeah,
it.
they definitely
Yeah.
say in the trailer.
And he's styled to look like Genghis. So.
Yeah, and you're like in the place where he's like hanging out.
The reason we don't
Yep.
want it to be Genghis is, again, historical chronology. Do we care about that?
I mean-
question mark.
It's like part of the, like jumping way forward.
Yeah.
He's king of the Mongols, who are not the Terracotta Army, so everything about that doesn't make
I
sense.
think this is another terracotta army that has not been discovered
Because like
How
they're all
exciting.
yet. Yeah, we're jumping ahead, but they are
Yeah.
just
I mean,
very different.
They don't look like that. They're like these ones look really
I know.
mad.
Can you imagine discovering those angry terracotta statues?
I mean, they
being
look like-
holy shit, what happened here?
Yeah, I mean, they look like they were, like part of the explosion of Vesuvius. Like, they're like, something's coming at me. And then it's like, no, that's not what the terracotta army looks like. Coming back to where we were, Genghis Khan, he subscribes to the Mingtian, newsletter.
Yeah. Why? Don't ask.
So he's, doing some magic, and he summons Mingtian.
Who's gonna save this episode, you guys? Just wait.
And then we find out that Mingtian and Pao Su have combined their powers and not brought Captain Planet. No. They are joined in one floaty body.
Sort of, but they're both dead.
They're both dead. That's why
Yeah.
they can
Why?
do this.
I guess.
Hello.
Why? Why can't they just be two?
Why can't they just be two floaty spirits?
Because it's not as fun.
I
That's
mean, the
stupid.
spinny effect, I admit, I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
I liked the way it used her headpiece. You know, how it would sort of
Yeah.
poke out the back of his head and spin around.
Yeah, it would have to become bigger whenever it was her turn to do the morph.
I read on the interwebs that this is a reference to The Bride with White Hair,
Aha.
which also inspired The Gauntlet.
Yes.
So we should see this movie.
Don't tell them we haven't seen it yet.
I watch it daily.
But that brings me to a point that, I mean, people are free to correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen very many wuxia movies or Hong Kong cinema in general, but I feel like these episodes don't have as much film reference as The Debt did.
Yeah.
Like, The Debt was we talked about The Debt not as cultural appropriation so much as a salute to movies. Like, it wasn't about China, it was about the movies that came from China. That was a big part of the aesthetic of that episode. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if they're sampling anything or if they're just making shit up and sort of being like, we want some of that Genghis Khan and we want some of that terracotta and
Yeah.
Just take it all and put
right,
it.
maybe some Star Wars.
Can I do some thought that I had that is probably just not true, but it's just the thing that in order to have a bunch of stuff that Xena gets to do in this that's cool because where in the, like, Lucy can't do lots of things and stunts and Xena's pregnant and whatever.
Yeah.
That, like, they have to take her to a place where, like, everything is magic.
Oh.
So that,
Right,
like,
yeah.
she can do, like, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
So that, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's, like, one of the thoughts they had. They was like, what can we do that's cool? And, like, so, like, she gets to go somewhere where she has powers.
And it's gotta
Also,
be
China has fireworks.
everything with the her channeling the chi back in the deck created so many problems for them. Like, remember One Against an Army where they had to explicitly talk about it, being like, "Oh, she can't do it anymore," you know,
Yeah.
because
Right,
it
because
would've-
she would decimate this
Yeah.
entire army.
Right.
It's such a,
Yeah,
all of this
and I mean,
stuff.
this was
they
like
had this issue, they fixed it, and now they're making the issue come back even worse.
way worse. And that was kind of like what this episode was supposed to be about. According to
Oh,
Rob,
yeah,
which
say
was
that stuff.
the moral quandary of Xena having to kill 100,000
100,000
soldiers,
people.
and like that is not part of this episode.
It's part of the
it's in
episode.
the
I mean, it is, but it's like the moral quandary
But
part is
it
not.
should have been the whole
Yeah,
episode.
the whole episode should have been
This episode's just moral compass is fucked up.
I like
Do you
how you say
realize-
compass.
Compass.
Compass?
Well,
I don't know how to say the
I'm just
word.
saying. So what's your regional?
It's compass is it's real fucked up because like this whole episode is Xena being like, we have to make sure that black powder like never gets out. Which one, like, who the fuck appointed you, like, person in charge of how people in Shin wage war? Like, none of your business, lady. Get out of there. 2, obviously, she does not succeed because in the future, in Xena's Girls, for example, people had guns. So, like, gunpowder is going to get made. It's only 3 ingredients. As so, like, her whole, like,
Shit.
I need to kill 100,000 people to prevent gunpowder from existing is a big old fail. So
Did she ever get rid of Joxer's little pouch of it? Because maybe he's the reason why it gets out.
Well, that's even worse. That's even worse. He has all the money and he fucks up the future.
Yep.
She can't know that about the future, though.
That's true, but we do.
Okay.
But we do. Which means we can't,
Even
justify
justify
her
it.
action.
Okay.
So they're on their way to Mongolia, right, up north, and they encounter like thousands of refugees on the road, and Kao Sin is one of them. Oh, our faves from the previous episode are back.
I preferred Pao Su, so I'm kind of bummed that
I know,
we
right?
get so much
I did.
Cao Sin. Yeah.
I preferred her too. And I definitely like her, like, on the back of Ming Tian.
Yeah, which you rarely
Spinning
see. Like, they don't do anything. That's what's so annoying, is they're literally just there to hover.
They spin.
And then Genghis Khan is there, who should be a really cool character. He's
the worst.
Fascinating person out of history, and yet
No.
he does jack shit in
he
this
was
episode.
worse than the warlord from the previous episode.
I kind of like Gokun from
I liked
from
him.
last
I
week.
wish he was back.
There was some interesting tension with him and Pao Su.
Yeah.
Here, there's nothing.
I also think it's weird that Genghis Khan would be so obsessed with Ming Tian that he would be like worshipping him.
Yeah, there's no
Like,
explanation for why
what?
that would be.
Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. Okay, this episode has problems. Is that what we're saying?
Well, at least China's beautiful, like they say.
The trees
Yeah.
are pretty.
If they're walking around
Oh yeah, in the nice
B-roll.
field.
Yeah.
So, all right. So it turns out that Genghis Khan's army is coming down the mountains, and they're destroying all these refugees' homes. And he has the black powder. Oh my gosh! How did he get it? Oh no!
Weird. And Xena immediately makes this like logical leap. She's like, he must have it from Pao Su. I know she's dead, but clearly she has come from beyond the grave to give him the recipe. And
That's
you're
her
like,
first thought.
Joxer had some of this stuff down his shirt a second ago, Xena. Aren't there other ways that he could have gotten it?
Oh my god!
That was an intense first thought to have.
So Xena suggests that they hide the refugees in the tunnels beneath Lao Mao's palace.
Was that a thing from the dead?
No! So much of this was not a thing from the
if
dead.
there were tunnels to hide refugees underneath the palace, then you wouldn't need to hide Xena in a hot tub.
One of the Whoosh
was
commentaries was
Ming's
very
palace.
mad that
No, it wasn't. No, it was Lao Ma's palace, wasn't it?
it's the
This is the same argument
Oh
from
wait,
last
yeah,
week.
it was. Sorry.
Oh.
I just like she like lived somewhere and then like Yeah, I keep forgetting
don't know.
whose husband.
I know. Let's rewatch The Debt.
I know.
Yay!
I was just gonna say that there's a comment on Woosh that was mad that they kept saying temple instead of
what?
palace.
Whose
Oh,
temple?
They referred to Lao Ma's temple.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you're talking about like in the previous episode?
This one.
This one does not have temples, does it?
No, it just has-
No, they
Lao
just
Ma's
instead of
house.
saying palace, it's like it's just in the script. It's
Wait
temple
a
instead.
second. In the previous episode, that temple that they hung out at was really her house, her palace?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
What? I thought it was a completely different location. Oh
Clearly
my god.
calling it a temple confused
Wait, there was
you.
like... Oh, there were no monks. Oh, no, there was. That
Well,
one guy.
they were also at a monastery, but that was like
okay.
earlier in the episode.
Oh
I love
my
how
God.
you've already forgotten
No, that was
Purity
for sure Ming's
from
palace.
last week. Whatever. I don't know
don't
who's
think-
palace
Forget it. I
is.
don't want to talk about it anymore. In fact, I'm done. Bye.
The episode is over.
Oh my god.
So inside
yeah.
this structure belonging to someone, we find a new character.
Yes. Xena tells Gabrielle to ride ahead and, like, tell them that 1,000 refugees are going to come and live in the tunnels now underneath this house. So, yeah, we find this this new character. His name is Lin Chi. He's attractive.
And that's about it. That's all we know.
Well, we know based on the formula, and Gabrielle's here now, clearly this is season 1 boyfriend of the week material.
yeah, when have we last had one of these?
Very
know.
long time.
I mean,
Very long time ago.
If you don't count Eli, I mean, it's
he's
got to be
not of the
years.
week. He's
Eli
a character.
counts, and he's not of the week. Yeah.
That's true. Multiple weeks.
Like, the
does
show
not
has
count.
progressed to the point where we don't throw boyfriends of the week at either one of these
I'm
people.
almost now conditioned when we have these characters turn up with Gabs that she's gonna mentor them, in the same way we had floppy haired guy in A Good Day.
Yeah.
I now see them and I'm like, platonic, of course.
I guess, but he's, like, the same age as her.
I
So
mean,
hence...
he's sexy. He's just boring, and like they just don't bother to make this a character. Like he just is there. I'm not even sure what he's doing there, to be honest. I was very confused.
He's,
by
like,
his
hammering.
motivations.
He's hammering.
He's hammering, yeah. And later
then-
he's like doing some forging.
Well, no, maybe. He also scoops rice.
He scoops some rice.
These are very important
He
things.
says something about like being disillusioned with Chin and the fighting, and he's gonna leave.
Yeah,
and
he
I'm
wants
like,
to leave.
who are you? Like we don't know anything about
She was
you.
looking for blah at the beginning, and he said what he was. Remember? Because he was being annoying when they're introduced. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was like,
he's
"Where's
like-
the guy in charge?"
how you
Yeah,
know.
he's just in charge. Oh, in charge.
Yeah, and then
That's
he's
it.
like,
not a title.
"That
or
guy's
anything.
very busy," and
Oh.
she's like, "All right," and then says her stuff, and then he's like, "Never mind, I'm
It's
the guy.
me."
You passed my test." Is basically how
Okay,
it
I literally blocked all this out because my eyes glazed over.
like the dynamic between these two basically is that he is perfect dude because he immediately, like, as soon as
He
she
can
says,
already tell she's the greatest person in the world.
yeah, and he starts being like, "I'm like the wokest boyfriend like ever," and you were supposed to.
You're
ship
making this sound kind of good, though.
No, this is not.
That
because,
was okay at the beginning.
but it's wrong because
I'm
like you've coming off of seasons of like girlfriends
felt
of the
it for-
week
for
and
3
Eli for her,
sentences.
and like all of these
Yes.
things work
Well,
for her
Isn't
as a
that
character.
why Renee went up to someone and was like, this is not gonna work?
Yes.
I assume so. People
What did
seem
she
to be
say?
getting a little defensive, like, we're not saying anything bad about the actor, who's fine. Who's,
Yeah.
no problem.
Although Rick says he was miscast.
Yeah, that I don't really understand, because
No.
there's no
I don't-
character.
yeah,
How can
there's
you
no
miscast
character.
someone in a role that is so underwritten? He may as well just be like, I'm the guy who's here to be your boyfriend this
Yeah.
week.
What did she say? That was the whole quote, really, right? That she was just like, I don't
Yeah,
think
this is not. Yeah,
gonna
I think
work,
they
this
like
plot.
cut some stuff because
Yeah.
of that.
Right.
There was,
yeah.
I think, a kiss.
There-
There's
an
a
actual
still
kiss.
out there,
Yeah.
of a kiss. So they tried to dial back some of the romantic
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Good.
There's actually
Bye.
some of it I do like. Put a pin in it.
Okay.
It has nothing really to do with Lin Chi's characterization, but it brings up some issues that I was into.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm very excited to hear what this is. So after they talk, Genghis Khan's like advanced guard attacks. So there's a fight scene.
It's always nice to see Gabs fighting. She does it a lot this episode.
Oh yeah, because she has to do all the fighting now.
This time I think she spins the size around so she's fighting with the blade outward. And I was like, whoa, gloves coming off. Though we had an email from a listener who informed us that the proper way to fight with size is actually blade inward, which is why it's such a great weapon for Gabs.
Nice.
It's a defensive weapon that can be used for offense.
That's cool.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. Good fact.
So Xena is talking to Kao Sin. She's doubting herself whether she can like harness Lao Ma's powers against an entire army, not just like one person.
Well, you couldn't even do it for making dinner. So I think the answer is no.
The perfect stillness needs it. And then suddenly there's an explosion. And when she runs out, she finds that Joxer and a bunch of these refugees are basically in a minefield.
This is one of the things that Xena can do. Walk slowly across a minefield.
Yeah, she kind of like, steps, does a path and is like, okay, everyone follow my steps out of there.
I did like the close-up of her little footprints.
Yeah.
But then there was this wind and it totally like wiped them away.
Ooh.
Yeah, Ming Tian did that, huh? Ming Tian literally blew on her footprints. Man, that petty bitch.
Xena did kill him.
Yeah. True. I guess he's got a grievance.
So Genghis Khan, his entire army, and his BFF Ming Tian ghost is there, and he's floating around, blowing away footprints and whatnot, and he's trapped between worlds by his hatred for Xena.
Cool.
And then he twirls around, and there is Pausu. So Xena sees the whole picture, this evil, like, lazy Susan.
It reminded me a little like Quirrell in Voldemort.
Yeah, if they would suddenly be like on top of a Roomba spinning.
I wish they had been. Can you imagine?
Pausu says that, haha, Xena, I have fulfilled my destiny of walking in Ming Tian's footsteps.
Okay.
Literally, I'm in his shoes.
Which I liked that teenage. It was like,
Because Pausu has grown on us a lot.
I told you last episode I loved that bitch.
Now that she's not doing anything, she's my fave.
No, but like, never would I have guessed that prophecy would lead to this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so really.
So this one, I was like, oh, I did not see this coming.
They set some rockets. They throw some rockets at Xena, and she uses Lao Ma's power as a force field, which is now a thing that she can do.
Cool. She has like a little bit of an orgasm face when it's happening.
Okay, you're making it better.
Yeah. But she can't keep it up, there's a lot of rockets being thrown at her. And so
It is kind of cool. I mean, I sounded really sarcastic, but
The effect is good.
Yeah. She chakrams like a path through the minefield, like each explosion sets up the next explosion kind of thing.
I love how the chakram solves every problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's the chakram's job.
Problem.
Deus Ex chakram.
Why can't we just chakram this episode out of existence and be done with it?
Well, it can split. Get rid of purity and this one.
Perfect for a bad two-parter. Get them both. Wham, pow.
Gabs and her new boyfriend show up to fight the soldiers and help. And then Xena recognizes Lin Chi.
His
the shirt is open. She's like,
open.
oh, I know that chest. And so she's like, oh my God, my vision.
I mean, maybe you could retcon this and be like, oh, after season 4, she learned that you can't prevent a vision. You just gotta move forward.
Gotta do it.
Just gotta make it happen and hope it works out.
it didn't. I mean, it did, I guess.
Exactly what happened, I guess.
So then Xena's working with Lama's book to try and like break the vase, kind of like we saw her do or try to do.
An army, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also
in the dead.
Yeah. She's like literally in the same place as she was in the dead.
Yes.
And the vase like kind of like teeters and falls over and breaks.
And she's like, close enough.
She's pissed though. She's like, ugh.
Oh, this is my favorite part.
Is its
okay.
rules?
Yeah.
Nothing makes, it's just like, here, let's just add something.
Cao Sin confesses that in Lama's book, there's a convenient warning that the more they use the power, the stronger her siblings become.
What?
So she's been suppressing it.
Why?
This is definitely like fine print that did not exist before.
No, how could it? How could anyone
Number one,
predict this?
There was no siblings when
Right.
it was first written.
She had a vision that predicted it? Because
I
people
guess
have visions
so.
here?
Yeah, people have a lot of things here. Yeah, this is a convenient rule so that Cao Sin can't help Xena later.
Yeah,
so Xena gets to just hog all the glory of murdering 100,000 people.
So convenient.
Okay, and it's also white saviory that only this one lady is allowed to have the power in Shin, and it's the white lady.
I mean, I don't know. It's weird 'cause she's like doesn't really want it. You know, she doesn't want to murder 100,000 people.
Well, she spends this entire episode trying, practicing, and like bitching about not being able to do it. So it seems to me she wants it a lot until it comes down to it, and then she still wants it. So
a dude comes in to tell them that Genghis Khan's army has set up shop nearby. Great. And then we see Lin Chi doing the sexy blacksmithing.
Oh, that's
it's always
fun.
sexy.
It's always
and this
good
entire
time.
scene, there's sparks flying behind them
Oh.
because there aren't sparks flying between them, so they have to literally put them in.
He apologizes to Gabs for being an ass earlier and compliments her barding skills.
It's a good scene.
Hashtag perfect man.
This is the stuff I liked because it's bringing up her barding, which has been all but forgotten in the show, and textually by Gabs. Like, she seems to just not identify as a bard anymore. So I like that this Lin Chi plot is bringing that up.
Oh my god, but is this also the scene where he tells her all this stuff and she's like, you don't know me?
Yeah. And he doesn't. She's right.
He really doesn't.
And in fact, I'm not sure how he knows that she's a bard.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
weird about
that
it.
I understand because they're so famous, you guys.
Oh, I see.
Famous. They're just so famous.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, Xena is super famous, and her bard companion, super famous.
But I felt it was very real what Gab says about being a bard, that her life's more complicated now, that she can't do it for whatever reason. If it has something to do with her embracing violence or just having to do all the fighting, so she's too busy to sit
She's
down
tired
and
to
write.
10
right
hours a day
afterwards.
that we don't see her,
Yeah.
like, doing chin-ups on a tree.
She sleeps then after some dinner. All right, so Joxer shows up and he's like, hi, am I interrupting? Because he's all like super jello.
This was horrible. This was, again, I was almost shocked. Well, not almost. I was shocked by how aggressive and icky he was.
So he grabs Gabs because Xena wants to talk to her.
Xena has a plan. We're later going to find out this plan was a trick, which makes me go, what gives Xena? I thought you were psychic. Whatever. Taking a big sip of my drink.
We'll get through this. Yeah, her plan is to send Gabs.
Well, her plan is to send herself
Oh, right.
over.
She wants to send.
She found out where the black powder is being stored by Khan's army. She's going to go there and set it off.
Right, so it's going to destroy all of it.
And Gabs is like, you can't do that because you're pregnant. I'll do it.
And Xena's like, I already have a mother.
Her name's Lao Ma.
Yeah, shit. Oh, no.
Oh.
Anyway, that was a fun, snarky moment.
Yeah, and so
Between
Gabs,
them.
like, basically volunteers, and, you know, Xena has to be like, fine.
And then immediately
Her and Lin Chi,
are trapped.
they get caught
In a
immediately.
net.
As soon as they get into that tent, they get caught.
Yeah. Okay, this is where practical magic comes back again.
Oh, yay. How so?
Because I love when someone can feel that something is wrong with someone else that they're like connected to really intensely, which happens in practical magic. But I won't say anything if you haven't seen practical magic.
Yeah, you have to go watch it right now.
And this is that. And I like it because it's kind of romantic.
Yeah.
It is romantic. I wish they'd embraced it more.
Yeah, it's not like you just have to kind of
Yeah.
glomp on
I would almost
to
love,
things.
rather than the death vision from the future, if this was just a thing throughout the episode, is that Xena gets flashes from Gabs.
Like feelings more than just like
Yeah.
a vision.
Yeah, feelings. I like feelings way
like
better.
something's wrong, and I can
Yeah.
hear
But
it,
then she
feel
would
it.
feel Gabs flirting with Lin Chi while bagging rice.
She'd be like, oh, I feel so awkward. Somewhere Gabs is in an awkward social situation.
She's like, I do not feel sparks.
my God.
Yeah, so Genghis Khan has tied up Gabs and Lin Chi in that same tent and is gonna explode them.
He says that all of Chin will burn as an emblem of Xena's failure.
Okay.
Because Xena's a big old fail. Okay.
I don't get it. Okay.
Okay, so Xena, who's been like feeling Gabs being afraid,
Yep.
remembers Calson's quote about like feeling Lao Ma in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, oh my God,
Wind.
I'm gonna harness the wind powers.
I love that she can hear Gabrielle calling for her too, which is great because I don't know that Gabrielle was doing that specifically. Maybe she was, but it didn't seem that way when we would cut to them.
Maybe it was all on the
it was
inside.
all in her head.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Xena!
Yeah.
Xena does more orgasm faces and she sucks out the fire in Gabs' tent.
She like sucks out all the air, right?
Yes.
Right, she sucks out the air, which sucks out the fire.
I thought
Yeah.
literally a little
Science.
puff of wind was just gonna come and blow
Yes.
out.
But the weirdest thing in that scene for me was like there was like some kind of like joke that doesn't really land where they're both like, "What's that?" Because it's the sound of the air.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also like the vague Chinese music.
Oh yeah, there's like
in
a
the
female
air.
vocalist.
I think
who I think it's
you know,
supposed to be like the spirit of Lao Ma.
Yeah.
so
Oh
stupid.
Lord! But then, like, you hear him say, like, "It's the sound of my dead relatives making a place for me at the table." It's like a very long joke about how they're about to die, but it makes it seem like he can hear that.
Yeah.
The
What
spirit
is-
of
what
Lao
does
Ma.
that
I'm like, they
sound
can
like?
only hear the wind part. It just was an odd. Nothing about it worked.
Yeah.
And I was
oh
like,
boy.
what?
Again, Rick Jacobson. How?
No, I don't know. I don't think he knows either.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. There are other great episodes.
Yeah.
They can't all win.
Yeah.
That's all.
If this
There's
is
so
his
many.
off day, all right.
We still love everyone.
So after they escape, Gabs and Lin Chi explode that tent. So they feel accomplished.
Good job.
And then they return, and then Xena complains that she still can't harness the power. It only happens when she needs to protect her loved ones. And then she's
Which
like, you can't
seems-
win a war with love.
Oh. I mean, it seems useful that those are the moments you'd want it to be used.
I know. It's like that seems exactly when you
Anyway.
need it the most. So okay.
But yeah, then there's that weird line where she's like, "Oh, Gabrielle," they like reunite, and it's like, "Yay!" and it's cute, and everybody's like, "You good? You good?" And then she says something along the lines of like, "She can't harness the power; it's using her."
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's weird because that seems like it's taking away Xena's
Agency.
responsibility. Yeah.
Well, doesn't that make her less of a white savior then if it's like Lao Ma doing it through
I don't
Xena?
think so.
We need everybody here to be responsible. It just makes it worse if you're like, the powers that be are making me the ultimate powerful person here. It's not me, you guys. I'm not doing this. Great.
Okay, what about Gabs's line here where she's like, I used to think love was enough. I was wrong.
We all went, but made a noise.
Well, it's true that she gave up the way of love.
Yeah.
It's true. Is that what she meant?
No.
No. Like, it's such a weirdly literal interpretation of things that I feel like she would not say in this particular way. No.
Yeah, everything about that was strange. Again, I kind of get how we've got like this new Gabs who's hard, who can't
Right.
write anymore. Like, they don't really go into this, so it's hard to really get a grip on who that version of the character is.
Right.
Like, she's never this disillusioned about love because she'd just be
Yeah.
another Xena, and that's not really good for
No.
the show to just have two a Xerox copy of the same character.
No, that would actually defeat the whole purpose of, I maybe think, the entire program. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't quite know what to make of this line. It kind of fell like an anvil, but it has no follow-up, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. This episode continues to be confounding and adds a C-plot with Joxer and this refugee girl.
Yeah.
Is it like because it's trying to
make up for how
yes,
horrible
exactly, exactly.
I guess.
So first he cooks a soup for everyone, and it's like, oh my god, everyone, be concerned.
He makes some kind of flatulence joke about thieves.
Yeah,
I don't.
He got that recipe from like whatever, when their legendary flatulence was not his doing.
Sure.
And then so there's this like refugee girl, and he's like, I'm gonna find your family, basically.
Right.
All right, so then it's Gabs and Lin Chi and my favorite scooping rice moment.
Uh-huh.
They're just scooping some rice.
Yep.
He asks her if she's thought about settling down.
Yeah. Why is this happening?
Oh my god.
He has said literally maybe 19 words to her in total.
This is what I mean. Can you imagine meeting someone for the first time and just being like,
Oh.
have you imagined settling down?
But what a great line to follow.
Katie, it's all you.
Oh, great. Well, she says, people always think home is a place. Sometimes it can be a person. That's me paraphrasing. I didn't exactly quote it, but the idea of home being a person. There's Xena, of course.
Mm-hmm. So she is settling down.
No, nothing. I was thinking about when they do try that one time.
Yeah,
Aww.
that's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice line. Again,
Nice.
I'm confounded.
Plump on to things that are good.
Everything is confounding, but yes, a nice line.
So in the morning, Jackson returns saying that Genghis Khan's army brought the villagers as hostages to use as shields against Xena. And then Xena's like, well, I just gotta destroy all of these guys, basically.
And Gab says the human thing, which is, Xena, are you really prepared to destroy 100,000 men? And Xena says our favorite justification ever for doing something truly horrific.
My God.
I don't have any choice. Well, okay.
I guess that's fine.
All right, go for it, girl. No choice, so you say.
There's so much happening, and it really just, I think there's a bunch of quotes that Rob has where he said, like we were mentioned earlier, that it was kind of supposed to be the whole crux of this story arc was whether or not she could do this. And basically, he says, like, what ends up happening in the episode is that, like, she doesn't even blink. It's just, like, a thing that happens. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, our hero killing 100,000 people.
And denying that she has a choice in the matter, which is just so grim and lazy at the same time.
I realize it's a giant army and whatnot, but even so...
You have the chakram. Just chakram those hostages out of there. It solves all your problems.
There's like thousands of them.
She thought about some other plans, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like they expect you to be like so glazed over by this point in the episode that you don't even notice.
And to be fair, they're correct.
They're very right. I feel like I did not process that she killed these people.
And then it's like, what exactly are the stakes? Again, you know what I mean? When you have something as big as, like, a One Against an Army episode where she does take on a huge army by herself and things like that, like, you understand what the huge stakes are, like, for doing it.
You gotta save those villagers.
Good. But, like,
all those refugees.
I just gotta save them. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I guess that's fine.
I guess.
But it's just, like, a lot. It's just a big, huge thing to do without thinking about it.
I can see a version of the story in which that question takes center stage, and in the end, she does do it.
Yeah.
But I think in order to make that happen, it has to be a choice. Like, just saying, I don't have a choice. I just think that's, like, that makes me hate Xena. Because it's like, no, you have a choice. You're taking this on. You're doing this. Like, don't pretend like there's no other option. Like, you have made a choice to do it.
And then the power is also using her, like...
Yeah.
So
that's the weird part of it.
Yeah. Everything about it is trying to make it so that you, like, don't think of Xena as responsible for 100,000 deaths, but I think that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Because she did do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
she does. She's about
she
to
can't
do it.
not be responsible and do it.
Yeah. Wee! This episode's fun.
So Xena sends Gabs away. She needs like absolute clarity, and Gabs will be a distraction for
I
her.
believe that. That's fine.
I believe it, but I mean, obviously she's sending her away to try to prevent her vision from happening.
Right. Kao Sin tells Xena that she'll always walk the path of the warrior, but there are more ways to win than with a sword. But Xena's like, okay, I'm still doing it. Bye. And she walks out to face the army. So rockets are flying at her. She's like deflecting them with her shield.
It is cool, just the visual of her walking out in front of the line of troops.
Yeah.
Just Xena, not dressed in her warrior's costume. Dressed in a robe. Yeah.
She's not dressed in a robe. She's dressed in like Chin outfit.
Yeah, but it's not like a Chin warrior. It's like a meditation outfit.
Okay, sure.
It's an entertaining outfit for entertaining.
Okay. Gabs and Lynchy attack. Jaxer gets the refugees out. She fights goons. I mean, there's like a whole thing. All the side plots are happening. Lots of fighting.
Gabs at one point has a staff, which made me happy. It's nice to see Gabs fighting with a staff again.
Cool.
I glazed over.
Don't tell them that we're glazing over it.
No,
It's our job
I'm
to know
glazing
every
over.
You
second.
gotta watch every second of this
every
program,
I
Vera.
was like, oh, there she goes fighting
episode.
again.
I was sitting here thinking about how I missed a cute part from a long time ago, and that was when
Like season 1 cute
no
part from
no,
a long
just
time ago?
that I liked when Diabs was like, "We can do it," when they went to go do the powder thing to blow up the tent, but immediately got caught. But like, I liked how Xena was like, "I know."
Aw,
and
good.
she's
That
like,
is nice.
because like, she has that thing where she's like, she should be over that. It was a whole thing from earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I like that. Carry on with this part.
Yeah. Well, Xena once again can do the cool force field effect, but it's slightly less cool this time because when she repels the rockets, they bounce
Yeah, they're
off
like,
with like a
boing.
boing sound effect.
Yep. Well, they boing off and then they go to like attack the army.
Yeah, it's good for Xena, but it's bad for our eyeballs.
Yes, correct. And then she does. She's kind of getting tired, and then she like snap zoom notices that there's a lot of green dragon like tattoos on the army.
Because Genghis Khan, for some reason, branded everyone with the image of the green dragon.
Right.
Snap zoom, you say?
Yeah, big time.
What's that?
Oh, just like real fast zoom at a thing.
Yeah, but like really
But in like
quick.
a snap.
Yeah, in a snap.
It snaps in, as opposed to the nice, long, slow zoom.
Slow zoom, yes. And then there's like a lot of flags and stuff, but yeah, so she's like, okay, this gives me an idea.
I was so confused by this idea. When she first sees those dragons, I was like, oh, cool, is she going to make like them turn into real dragons? And then the dragons will fight them?
Dude, this episode,
That would be problematic.
maybe that would be...
Less problematic than killing 100,000 dudes?
I don't know.
I was going to say maybe that would have saved this episode.
Lots of dragons.
But they could not...
Afford them?
Number one, they couldn't afford them. Number two, hells no, do we want to see that CGI?
No.
1999's dragon fight.
Thank you.
Gotta wait for Game of Thrones for
Right,
that.
exactly. Ooh, last season, so much dragon fighting. So there's these like horsemen, the 3 horsemen. They're gonna come and attack Xena.
That was a good shot. These riders coming through
Yeah.
the smoke. It's like very pink and misty, and it was kind of poetic. There, Rick was using his powers for good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say a long time ago that there's like this kind of was like Lord of the Ringsy.
Well, that makes sense because half of this crew is about to go work on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and then how Kausin, wanted to hide everyone in the tunnels with
In Helm's Deep. I was
Yeah.
like, that is some Helm's Deep realness
Yeah.
in those caves. Like, it keeps cutting back to the cowering
Yep.
women and children.
Yep.
You're
with
like,
the
oh,
bombs
no.
up top.
Save
yeah.
them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So the 3 horsemen are coming at Xena, and their dragon symbols are like lighting up. So she's like, anything's possible, and she does her powers at the symbol.
And it makes them all turn
like
stone,
it's-
like the rabbit.
Yeah, exactly. The 3 guys turn to stone.
This is this part where she says twice, anything is possible.
Oh.
Can I point out something about this?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a special moment.
This is so important, you guys.
This is Xena's
It's
superpower might be
just
turning to stone.
crazy.
Other people, but
Okay.
Lucy's power.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Anyway, so there's this thing where actors who do not have an American accent but then have to do one can't say the word anything in an American accent.
This
it's
is
a big tell.
It's
If
a particular England/Commonwealth problem.
It's a tell. So you could be like 100% like getting an American accent, and then you get to the word anything, and it comes out like this, anything.
Yeah.
And she doesn't do that. And, like, I don't know if that's an all-the-time thing. Now I feel like I have to go back and watch the whole show.
I've never heard her say
And
anything.
it was perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I mean, maybe
just
back in,
was
like, season
very,
1.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Maybe.
It was never the word.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody can do that.
So, but it's just like a fun fact for
It's just-
anyone.
you'll notice.
If you hear that word come out as anything from like anyone with an American accent on TV or in movies, you'll know that that's a person who is not, in fact, American.
America.
And it's so mystifying to me because it's such an innocuous word.
Right.
Like, it doesn't
It's
seem
weird.
tricky.
Any
that-
linguists out there or...
Yeah.
It's just
Act-
really
yeah.
strange.
It's 3 sounds that are in other words that actors can say perfectly correctly in American English. But when you put those 3 sounds together,
Yeah.
No, but the only problem is the one part of it.
Yeah.
It's like
And
yeah.
And,
It's just
versus
nuts.
knee.
Like, it's just one of my favorite
It's
things.
just weird.
It's a fun thing.
thing.
It's a fun thing that happens.
Yeah,
and I
it's-
enjoy
it's-
it.
it's
Anyway, not
utterly
here.
mysterious.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that
Hooray!
this is
Yay,
Lucy's
Lucy!
superpower.
It was just something that I noticed.
All right. So the fact that she shot those dudes in their green dragon tattoos and symbol imagery starts spreading throughout the army, and everyone starts getting affected by it. So Ming Tian and Pao Su start spinning crazy, spinning.
Right, because they're affected by it too, even though they're dead. They're spirits. They
Yes.
can't turn to terracotta.
Well, it's like his, but it's like his thing.
His symbol.
His symbol.
Yeah.
So it
If
clearly...
you hit a man in his symbol, he's gonna spin around and then explode into rock pieces.
Yep. That's how it works.
Okay, so like I read the best thing in one of the commentaries on Whoosh. That a long time ago in the episode, Gabrielle was like, I can't wait to see the look on your face when Xena decimates your army to Khan. And then the person was like, want her to go up to his statue and be like, that's the look.
You know what? That would have improved this episode ever
that
so
was
slightly.
really funny, except
Yeah.
I don't believe that
That she would
would
ever
be in
do
character.
that.
But, oh man, that was funny.
Yeah. So this dude did nothing in this episode
He did
and then became
nothing,
stone.
and then he became stone.
It's really weird.
Anyway, Xena and Gabrielle are doing kind of what they should be doing, which is like looking really intensely at each other and around because she just did a really fucked up thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you see it on Xena's face.
Yeah.
She's horrified.
Are they just
She's
gonna
upset.
leave? Are they gonna leave 100,000 stone dudes around?
I mean,
What are they gonna do?
what are they going to do with them?
I don't
Bury
know.
them?
Stick them somewhere? Yeah. Bury
That's going to
them.
take a long time.
Well,
Good
there's
luck.
a lot of villagers. They have a lot of time on their hands. All right, so yay, they defeated the baddies, and we have Jaxer doing his thing where he's like elaborating his heroism to that girl's family that he has found. So he did a nice thing. Yay.
I guess it doesn't make me feel any better about Jaxer.
No.
Doing some white savioring on the side.
It was really fun though when he was like explaining it. There was like when he was telling the story, they added the sound effects for like, you know, he's like, oh, there was all the blood, and it was like squirt, squirt, squirt sound effects.
They
and
ripped
stuff.
that off of Return of the Jedi. Thumbs down.
Gab says bye to her boyfriend.
I feel like Gabrielle liked how he was telling the story for a second.
Yeah, she comes in and kind of smiles
She's
indulgently.
been thinking about barding. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, it had been brought up to her that, like, barding was a
I
thing.
like that so much.
And I felt like she was appreciating it for a moment.
I saw it more as her appreciating Joxer, which I disapproved of.
I did too.
I like that so much more.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
you.
You saved that scene.
Yeah,
really
but then, I mean,
did.
she does hate that he's lying, which
Yeah.
is his normal
But you're right. Maybe
thing.
she appreciates the power of storytelling for a
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I said she says goodbye to her boyfriend, I did not mean Joxer.
No.
So it was Lynchy. And I don't care, so.
When she says he's
Bye.
going home because he learned from Xena and Gab.
Don't even
I don't
bother.
even know. I'm like,
Don't even
what
bother.
is your
We
home?
shouldn't
Why
even-
What
did
is
you
your
leave?
home? Where are you
We don't
from?
know anything. It's so
We didn't
vague.
even talk about Gabrielle did say that thing to him that it was like no better, like in other parts of the world.
Oh, yeah.
But it just was just the
Right.
vaguest sketch of a character.
Yeah.
I want to leave where I'm from because problems. You're like, and Cass is like, I identify with this. I also left home because of problems.
Yeah. Okay.
Xena no longer feels Lama's power. Okay,
Props
good.
to Renee for being like, nah. And
It is true.
to the plot.
She used her powers for good.
Yeah.
She went and complained and
Yeah.
got that kiss cut out, presumably.
The powder has been destroyed, and Xena feels a new sense of compassion.
That was so confusing because she just killed 100,000 people. What's she feeling compassion for?
Because she got the power
With
not
love.
from the hate, but from thinking about all the people the army was going to destroy.
Save.
I guess.
So love wins.
Maybe she should have thought about those 100,000 men and who are they and did they have families and what? They're people too. Why?
I know. She's literally like one against the army. No, not one against the army.
mean,
A
they're
good day.
bad.
Like met like a dude who worked for a bad army, and he had a family.
Yeah,
He was like the hero of the
sometimes
episode.
Xena remembers that people are complicated and
Right.
they can't just be murdered en masse and be hand-waved as, well, they're Chinese and evil, so don't think about it.
And she, oh my god, that's really terrible.
Put a coin in.
Wow, yeah. She didn't think about like when she led an army and like what if Xena stood in front of her and turned
Of
everyone
all the
into
people
stone.
to just not even
Yeah.
think about a warlord and the people who ride with the warlord as humans who you should feel
that would
something
have been
for.
too difficult to write in an
every
episode written by
decision-
Buddy Williams.
Yeah, every decision in this episode is just, path of least resistance. And we understand this episode was very hard for them to write. They couldn't figure out how to save it, so they added Ming Tian. I feel like it speaks
He
for
spins
itself.
around, okay? That distracts you from the plot.
But yeah, I mean, this is the sort of thing where, I mean, clearly no one could figure out how to make killing 100,000 people okay. And do you want to know why? Because it's not okay.
Not okay.
I get how in
Oh,
theory the
no.
idea of Xena being responsible for the terracotta soldiers, or some terracotta soldiers, is a cool idea, but at the same time it just isn't in character. So it's one of those things where it's a neat visual, but they shouldn't have done it, in my opinion, at all.
They should have got Lama back to spin around
I
on Xena's
wish.
side.
Can you imagine? The only thing to make this worse. Wow.
Spinning Lama. Oh, well, guess what? We are done with
Oh,
this
good.
one. So thank goodness.
Well, we wish we could have made love, not war, on this episode, but no. It's over, though. This might be as bad as it ever gets for me. Because it's just so, like, how could you do this to the dead? You
It's
know?
true.
I mean, that's the
This
thing.
one was
Yeah.
really rough.
The fact that it has
yeah.
this connection to earlier stuff and that it actually goes out and retcons some of the best stuff.
And that expects you to forget that you're watching, what is this one called? Back in the Bottle.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, here's Ming Tian. Don't you think that you're watching The Dead? It's The Dead.
No.
Everybody's favorite part of The Dead. Adult Ming Tian. So sorry, guy. You're fine. It has nothing to do with the actor.
Oh my god. Oy, oy. All right. Season 5 continues.
Woo! Little
no.
problems next week. Are you doing all right at home? You okay? You still alive?
I think we're definitely. Oh, I shouldn't even say anything.
I don't even know what you're gonna say.
Oh, I was gonna say like maybe the next two will be together.
Who? No, we don't know.
For
We
those
can't be
watching
trusted.
along at home.
We're gonna do a special 2.5-hour episode on little problems.
Fuck. I think that's my least favorite episode almost. Maybe it's definitely on my like bottom 10.
What?
Bottom 10.
I forget which one, Purity or Back in the Bottle, we said was higher up on the worst.
I believe Back in the Bottle was higher up
'Cause it's
on
worse.
the list
Yeah.
because it is worse.
The characters, the mischaracterization moments of Xena and Gabrielle
Yeah,
are pretty
put it over
sad.
the top. And
So.
as Vera says, Pausu was fun in Purity. It really
Yeah.
really puts things in perspective.
It really
Back in the
does.
Bottle.
It really
You
does.
thought you suffered through Purity, but guess what? You did not
No.
know suffering.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
Did you like how much Joe LaDuca had that high-pitched gong?
Yep.
That was so much of it. I just thought we'd end on that note.
Well, he was having fun. Okay.
It was a lot.
He was like, they won't notice how bad the episode is if I had more gong. Okay. On that note, follow us on all the stuff and things.
XenaWarriorPodcast.com. That's the website. Also, you can subscribe, listen, rate, leave reviews on Apple Podcasts, and then also you can listen basically at any podcast listening thing you'd like. We are on Twitter at XenaWarriorPod. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/XenaWarriorPodcast, where you can see some extra stuff. And we're on Facebook and Tumblr, Xena Warrior Podcast. Oh, and Instagram.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast!